Hello everyone and welcome back to another Decksploration, this time featuring the Assault Mode archetype. This is a little bit of an older synchro-ish focused archetype that I don't really know a whole lot about. I have used them a little bit just as a synchro engine because they have quite flexible levels, so you can use them as a starter for certain decks. But as a grand archetype, I know basically nothing about them, and what better time to learn than with 7 new cards coming down the pipeline. So without further ado, let's get started. Just as a note, where this Killer Tunes was like brand new, didn't have that many cards, we went over everything pretty in-depth. I know a chunk of what this deck does, so I can gloss over some stuff, and I have separated the cards that are unlikely to be used. Mostly the older boss monsters will get to that. So first up is going to be Psy Reflector. This is one card that I am familiar with because it is the engine, so to speak. So if this card is normal or special summoned as a level 1 Psychic Tuner, you can add an Assault Mode activator, a card that mentions it from deck to hand except itself. Then you can reveal an Assault Mode activate in your hand, target a monster in your grave, summon it, and if you do, increase its level by up to 4. So the idea here is that if you normal summon Psy Reflector, you can go grab this guy, which then lets you get the Assault Mode, and then you can reborn this guy and modulate the level to whatever level you need, which is important because we need to be able to access a variety of synchro levels in this deck to do the thing. The downside of that game plan is you have to actually play Assault Mode Activate, which can be a hard garnet, but, you know, if you need access to a variety of levels, and especially if you're playing like a 60-card pile, it becomes much more feasible to do so. Assault Sentinel is a little bit less played, but in a pure version of the deck, which is probably what we're going to be building today. This card is great because you can just normal summon it, tribute it, special summon a monster from your hand or deck that specifically lists Assault Mode Activate, which can just be the Psy Reflector, so it can act as 3 extra levels of that. But it also has another effect where you can target a face-up monster you control, reveal a synchro in your extra deck, and turn the targeted monster's type and attribute into the synchros level, which, oh, it matters for the Red Dragon Archfiend stuff, because Red Dragon... Actually, does original Red Dragon Archfiend require tuners? I know a lot of them do. Okay, no, I guess not. But there's probably something in here, like Doomkaiser probably takes a zombie or something. So you can modulate type and attribute so that you can fit the requirements for your synchros, which is pretty cool. So these two make up our best starters, but we also have Assault Beast. Assault Beast is not a starter, but it's a really important part of the deck. These 3 kind of make up the core, I would argue, because Assault Beast, very simple, you can discard it to add Assault Mode Activate from deck to hand. But how it works is that because Psy Reflector needs a monster in grave to summon back and modulate, you have to search the Assault Beast to get the Assault Mode Activate itself to modulate the Assault Beast. So this guy, I wouldn't say he's a 3 of like these 2 are, but he is very important to see, and I don't know, maybe he is because we have new support that I haven't really looked at. And if you can just add something different off Psy Reflector, then this becomes more of a 3 of, I suppose. And so now we're immediately out of my comfort zone. These guys are more useful in the Assault Mode deck, or in an Assault Mode deck if you're playing it kind of hybrid-esque. So I've never really touched them. So Arcane Apprentice, I don't know if this is a good card. I don't know if we're going to need it. I don't know if we're going to want it. But it's a level 2 tuner that when sent to the graveyard for a synchro summon, you can add Assault Mode Activate from deck to hand. We might need that, we might not. I put it up here tentatively. Then we've got the boss monsters. This is the whole big gimmick about Assault Mode. So we're actually going to talk about Activate first, because this is how the deck works. So Assault Mode Activate is a trap that says tribute a synchro monster, special summon an Assault Mode monster from your deck, whose name includes the tributed monster's name. So all of the boss monsters of Assault Mode are big extra deck synchro names that have this like main deck boss monster version, and they all, when destroyed, summon back the synchro version from your grave. So it lets you layer your boss monsters, which is actually really cool. Like, You can use activate in response to the opponent trying to like imperm your Stardust Dragon to go get Stardust Dragon Assault Mode. Then even if they kill the Assault Mode, the regular Stardust Dragon comes back. So it just makes your stuff sticky and like tricky as well, because you can dodge effects, which is really cool. So we're going to go through most of the old cards pretty quick here. So Stardust Dragon Assault Mode, you have to tribute Stardust Dragon, you can summon this, and it can Omni-negate by tributing itself, and then it comes back on end phase, similar to what Stardust Dragon does. This is probably the best of the old bodies, because it's not that hard to make, and it's just an Omni-negate every turn. Then we've got TG Halberd Cannon. I don't know if this should be up here. Actually, I think it should due to one of our traps. This is probably the strongest of the boss monsters, at least the old ones, because when your opponent would summon a monster, you can negate the summon, banish it, and all special summon monsters your opponent controls. That's like backbreaking for anyone. The problem with it is that TG Halberd Cannon is very, very difficult to make. I don't think we're going to be making it in this deck, but there's a trap that lets you summon this even if you don't manage to actually make it, so I think it probably deserves a space just for how powerful its effect is. The last of the old ones that I think is playable is Archetype Magician. So this is a 9, so you have to go to 9. That's okay, that's doable in our basic combo. And when it's summoned, it gets 2 spell counters. This card gains 1,000 attack for each spell counter on it, but you can remove 2 spell counters to destroy all cards your opponent controls. So I'm thinking this one's probably useful still just as a going second option for the deck to Black Rose Dragon the opponent's board. Though maybe we just play Black Rose Dragon, which doesn't require the brick. Maybe that's where well, the other thing is that we can just summon it on the opponent's turn, and we do get Archetype Magician out of this. So again, it's kind of iffy, but it might make it in. Then we've got Assault Teleport. If you'll notice that these guys are all bricks, they don't have effects in hand or anything like that. Assault Teleport is here to help with that because it allows you to put an Assault Mode monster from your hand back in the deck to draw 2 cards. So it's a 2 for 2, but you're trading a brick and this card for 2 fresh ones that hopefully are not bricks. Then we've got Assault Mode 0, which is another one I'm not sure is going to see play, but I think might. This is an Assault Mode Activate type effect. You tribute the Synchro monster, but you special summon from hand, so it's kind of supposed to be what you get if you don't, like, if you brick on your body because you only want to play one of each of them. You're supposed to find this, but I don't think there's a really easy way to find it because Assault Beast can't grab this card, so I'm not sure. But it does have a neat effect where during your main phase, you can banish this to set actual Assault Mode Activate and make it live immediately, and it is not a one or the other per turn. You can do the first mode and then the second mode as well, which is pretty neat. So I think there's an argument to play it. Assault Mode activates the core of the deck, tribute something, special summon the Assault Mode. Simple as that. It's probably going to be a 3 of, just because we don't mind opening it in case our combo gets interrupted. Even if we can just cobble together like a Stardust Dragon, this makes it into an Omni-negate. Then we've got a couple more traps. I think the traps in this deck are actually one of its strong suits. They're all pretty good. So Assault Slash says, activate only while you control an Assault Mode monster, destroy all face-up monsters on the field. That includes yours, but remember that your stuff, when destroyed, will summon back the Synchro version from the graveyard, so you aren't losing your entire board, the opponent is. Then we've got Assault Counter, which is an Omni-negate, counter trap, and destroy, but you can only use it while you have an Assault Mode monster on the field. This card's almost certainly a 3 of. It's not even once per turn. It's kind of psychotic. Just no notes on Assault Counter. Any archetype that has an Omni-negate counter trap, especially one that is not once per turn, is crazy. And then lastly, for the old cards that I think might be playable, is Assault Reboot. I think this card is really, really good. So you tribute an Assault Mode to special summon any other Assault Mode from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. This is how I assume we can make, like, Archetype Magician, blow up the opponent's board, and then on the opponent's turn use Reboot, tribute the Magician to go into Halberd Cannon, which is like a crazy powerful boss monster. We don't get the other version of Halberd Cannon back when it gets destroyed, but that's okay. It just allows us to quick effect get to these powerful effects. And that's not even all it does. Technically, you can banish this from your grave to shuffle a bunch of stuff back into your deck to reuse it. So like, all of your assault modes are not technically just single-use monsters. They can just go back and you get them again, which is cool because we do not want to play these cards at more than one. They are hardcore bricks. Okay, and then we're on to the new stuff, which I have even less knowledge about. So, Assault Lich. We're going to read these ones together. So, Assault Lich is a level 4 zombie tuner. If this card you control would be used as synchro material, you can treat it as a non-tuner. Always love to see that line of text. It makes the lines flexible. Once per turn on everything, which is good. If this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon one monster that mentions Assault Mode Activate or a low-level zombie from Grave. Okay, so this is an extender, not so much a starter. That's okay. If this, well, I don't know, we'll talk about it in a second. If this card is sent to the grave as synchro material, you can add Assault Slash or Assault Counter from deck to hand. That is, ooh, those are the two really good disruptive ones. That's actually awesome. So, I'm okay on this card. I love this last sentence. If this card is normal or special, you can special summon a monster that mentions Assault Mode Activate from your grave. So that low-level zombie's kind of tripping me up. I wonder if there's like a specific zombie we're trying to support here. Maybe something that mentions Doomkaiser. I don't know. Doomkaiser is in the background here. So if we go Assault Sentinel, Tribute Sentinel, summon Lich. Lich can summon back Sentinel, and that gets us started. The other option is a 2-card combo between Beast and Lich, I guess, where you discard Beast, go into Lich. The thing that's worrying me a little bit is the just the lack of special summons available here. But the cool thing about this deck, and we'll see it in the extra deck, that's the last new card, is I think anything that gets you to 7 can function as a starter, so we'll have to see. But this card seems good. I really like that last line of text, and I think the on-summon extension's fine. So next up, we've got 3 new boss monsters, actually. So first up is Junk Warrior Assault Mode. It has the normal text. You can't normal summon this. You have to special summon it with Assault Mode Activate. That's standard. So this one specifically, what is it? It's a 7. Oh, wait, no, because Junk Warrior itself, what is Junk Warrior? I thought it was a 5. Yeah, Junk Warrior is a 5. That's kind of interesting that they made it a different level. I wonder if that's for a purpose. Gains 1,000 attack for each assault mode monster you control. Doesn't exclude itself, so it's a 3,800 by default. Also, if it battles a monster, any battle damage is doubled, so this kills people. This kills people very well. Unaffected is a good word to see. Unaffected by your opponent's activated monster effect. Oh, just in... Oh, so it's just a 3,800 tower that does double damage. Okay. And then if destroyed, you can target a Junk Warrior in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, and special... Wait, then special summon it? It counts as a synchro? Oh, okay. I guess the idea being that you can go into you can get the increased attack off of Junk Warrior. That's kind of interesting. Put it back in the extra deck, then special summon it. The problem here is summoning Junk Warrior, because Junk Warrior needs Junk Synchron, and that kind of sucks, but maybe you're supposed to combine these with Synchrons. They have ones that can replace names. We'll have to look into that. Junk Warrior Extreme. No, that wouldn't... Well, would that work? How is this... Whose name includes the tributed monster's name. No, so it has to be OG Junk Warrior for that to work. I don't know, maybe we'll figure out a way to do this, but summoning Junk Warrior is kind of rough, or Junk Synchron into Junk Warrior is kind of rough. Then we've got Crimson Blader Assault Mode. Does Crimson Blader... While I'm thinking about it, Crimson Blader doesn't have any weird specific stuff, right? No, it's just tuner and a non-tuner. Okay. So Crimson Blader Assault Mode has normal text. You have to summon it with Assault Mode Activate. You can reveal this in hand, which is desperately what all of these need. Add an Assault Mode Activate or a card that mentions it. So this is a starter then. Shuffle this card into the deck. That's really cool. So you can activate this in hand to go get any of your starters. The best one probably is Sentinel. It gives you the most gas to work with. Tribute, go into Reflector, search Beast, do the whole thing. So that's very good. That makes this a starter and a 3 of, even if its other effects, even if its effects on field kind of suck. Which You can only use this once per turn. Your opponent cannot activate the effects of level 5 or higher monster special summon from the extra deck. Okay, so it's a floodgate as well. And if this is destroyed, you can special summon Crimson Blader from your graveyard. So it's probably worth playing the Crimson Blader in the extra deck so that you can make this as a floodgate whenever you get a chance. But again, it would be a 3 of either way, just as a starter. What's original Crimson Blader's level? It's 8? Yeah, that's crimsonably easy to make. This card is treated as Crimson Blader. You can synchro. Okay, I did not know about this card. Oh, this takes a Resonator, so it's like an RDA card. I'm going to read this because it came up, and it's treated as Crimson Blader, so we would rather summon this if possible than the original, I'm sure, because it's a new card. When this card is synchro summoned, you can take a level 8 or higher monster from your deck or graveyard that cannot be normal summoned or set, and either special summon it or add it to your hand. Wait, so this is an assault mode card. Ooh, that's kind of rough that I missed it because it is an assault mode card. You're supposed to make this with a Resonator Tuner, and then that lets you add Crimson Blader, which then lets you add any other card in the archetype effectively. Okay, well, I'm glad I added that, and we've now read it, so we know what it does. So with that out of the way, Crimson Blader Assault Mode, you want to use this one instead of the other one. This takes a Resonator. I think there was a card, yeah, this guy lets you find a Resonator, so maybe that's the other engine we're supposed to use to function as a starter for this deck. We will see. So, Red Nova Dragon Assault Mode hopefully has a hand effect as well. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, banish this card until end phase. Banish all cards your opponent banish cards your opponent controls. Reading is hard, y'all. Up to the number of tuners in your graveyard, and when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can banish this until the end phase negate and end the battle phase. If this card is destroyed, you can special summon one Red Nova Dragon from... Oh, this is Red Nova, right, because there was already a Red Dragon Archfiend version. What's Red Nova's level? This was a 12, yeah? Ooh. I don't know how playable this... Well, if we're using Resonators as a primary engine and a starter, it's probably not impossible to get to this, but I'd be a lot higher on it if it had a hand effect so that we could just leave it in the deck without worrying about it. But as a boss monster, it's very powerful. It lets you banish a whole bunch of stuff. It dodges removal. It, like, stops the battle phase, which is cool. A lot better than OG Red Nova Dragon is at this point, because this card's kind of gotten power crept. But, having to make this card is rough, especially when it takes a brick in deck. Less high on that, we'll see. Next up, we got 2 spells, so that's Dual Evolution Assault Zone. When this card is activated, you can add a monster that mentions Assault Mode activate from deck or graveyard to your hand. Great, that's a 3 of... Oh, it's a field spell, interesting. Assault Mode monsters can't be destroyed by battle or opponent's card effects during the turn they are special summoned. So if you summon it on the opponent's turn, it's a pseudo tower for a turn. Kind of helps you stall out the game, if nothing else. You can pay 2,000 life. Once this turn, you can activate Assault Mode. Activate by tributing a Synchro monster in the extra deck. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. You can only do this once per turn. Okay. So the field spell is now everything. Because the field spell now allows you to get to TG Halberd Cannon without summoning TG Halberd Cannon. It lets you get to the Red Nova Assault Mode without making Red Nova. That's... that's the wrong card. We haven't gotten there yet. That's everything to this deck. And there are a number of cards that can search this. So that starts to put a game plan into my head. We got a couple things left to do, but yeah, that makes me feel better about playing like the Red Nova Dragon and the TG Halberd Cannon. So, Crimson Call says you can add a level 4 or lower Fiend for... This is a zombie, right? Not a Fiend. None of these are Fiends. No, that's weird. Fiend from grave to hand, or if it mentions RDA, or a Synchro monster that mention... Wait. Or a Synchro monster that mentions RDA, you can add the monster from deck to hand. Oh, okay. So it lets you just get a resonator, I guess. If your assault mode monster or RDA attacks at the end of the damage step, you can banish this card to attack again. This one might just have incidental synergy with assault mode, but I think it might be entirely a RDA card. Ah, God. If you control RDA or a synchro that mentions it, you can add the monster from your deck instead. So we would be looking at specifically Red Dragon Archfiend cards for using this. So like we would, what about Darkness Resonator? This is new. Maybe this is the target. You can reveal RDA in your extra deck, special summon this card from your hand. You cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except synchro monsters. If this is special summon, you can activate this. You can normal summon a resonator. Okay, but it doesn't search or anything. It gives you an extra normal summon. You can target tuners to turn their level into 1. That's kind of funny. So yeah, I think we're starting to kind of get into just RDA territory at this point. It probably is just incidental synergy, because I'm not sure what here. You could, for sure, go into Red Dragon Resonators. Like, this will get you Soul Resonator, but then you get Dark Synchro locked, and that's not really where we want to be. Can't really do Vision. So, like, I guess this card is probably out. So, this would be what we're looking at. Let's go look at the synchro real quick. So, Nightwing Priestess is based on Nightwing Sorceress, which it just lets you activate Assault Mode the turn it's set. I don't think this is good enough to see play nowadays, but hopefully this is. If this card is Special Summon, notably, Special Summon means from grave, so maybe there's something to that. Maybe it like recurs itself and you can get it back on following turns. You can set an Assault Mode activate from hand, deck, or grave. Awesome. That's a thing we want to do. It can be activated this turn. Interesting. Is there a reason we would want to do that? I don't know. I don't really see one is the thing, because Arcanite Magician, yeah, I guess. Yeah, but if you're getting to an Synchro 8, you probably have already beat the opponent. So I'm not sure. Kind of whack. But, like, having the option to activate it this turn is good, even if we don't necessarily need to do that. And it feels like a noob trap a little bit, because you want to get your big bosses on the field, but by doing so, you are playing into your opponent's interaction by making yourself less layered, if that makes sense. So I don't know if you're going to want to do it the same turn, but regardless, just setting Assault Mode from deck is great, because Assault Mode activate is not once per turn, so if we can search 2 or 3 of them, we get 2 or 3 boss monsters, which is pretty tight. You can discard 1 card, add to your hand, or special summon 1 monster that mentions Assault Mode activate from deck, and you get Synchro locked. Okay, so maybe this is how we're supposed to get to Assault Lich then. So, thinking about it, we go normal summon Sentinel, tribute Sentinel for Psy Reflector. Psy Reflector, add Assault Beast, discard the Assault Beast, summon back the Assault Beast. Then we can make Nightwing as an 8, which is quite easy to do. That opens up a lot of other engines. You can do that with Resonators we're already talking about. Punk, obviously, Centurion, lots of stuff can make 8s. But I digress. So then you can make Nightwing Priestess, then use her to summon Assault Lich from the deck. Assault Lich brings back the Assault Sentinel, which you can change what it is, but really that locks you into an 8 off of that. Wait, no, this can be treated as a non-tuner, so you could actually bring back any of these. So that's an 8 or a 5. And if you go into a 5, well, no, because you can't make Junk Warrior with just a generic 5. Kind of funky, but there's something to that for sure. So I guess you are probably locked into an 8 off of that. But that's not too terrible. And then if you make that 8, you get an assault slash or assault counter alongside it. So that's pretty cool. So that's all she does. Did the field spell modulate or anything? I want an easier way to modulate a level, I think is what I'm looking at right now. I don't think any of the old stuff did that. It's all, for the most part, just bad boss monsters. And this is a burn spell that requires you tribute your boss, so that's pretty awful. Interesting. Let's go try that. Let's see what we do. So, no shuffling, hand size 1. Let's see the basic combo here. So we're going to normal summon Assault Sentinel, use Assault Sentinel's effect to tribute itself to special summon. This is all of our targets, so... Oh, wait, no, this is perfect, actually. We can go Lich here, which locks us into specifically an 8, which is the Nightwing Priestess, and then we can do a Sire Reflector off of her, which allows us to change to basically anything. I'm glad I tested that. That's perfect. So, Assault Lich triggers, brings back Assault Sentinel. We could change type and attribute, but we don't really need to, so we can just go straight into the Priestess here. Priestess is going to trigger, and Lich is going to trigger. I guess we can... I guess the more... Oh, that's actually cool. This chain blocks, because it sets from deck. There's, like, nothing that interacts with that. You can't even Ghost Ogre because it's on summon. So we can go Lich to add, and then chain block with the Priestess to set, which is cool. Lich is going to add... I mean, I think I would rather have counter most of the time, but I might play 1 slash just in case. But, like, just playing a bunch of counters seems good anyways. So we would want... This would be a 1.5 card combo, but for the sake of it, we're just going to ditch the assault counter so we don't have to go back. And this allows us to add to hand or special summon. This has to be a monster, right? So Sire Reflector can get us the field spell. The link that adds the field spell. Also, we could, in theory, I guess, add... No, it's not the Junk Warrior. Which one was it? The Crimson Blader. We'd add the Crimson Blader, but that's just, like, extra steps we don't need to take. So we are going to special summon... Is there any reason not to just special summon? Yeah, it's just Sire Reflector. So we special summon Sire Reflector triggers, and we'll add a card that mentions Assault Mode, which can be... I think it's always the field spell under all circumstances. Then we can activate the field spell, use that to add something else. This does not special summon, this adds, right? And it's specifically a monster. That's fine. Because we can still use this to bring back... Oh, we have to have the Assault Mode activate in hand for this. And use set. Why do we... That's funky. Add 1 monster that mentions... There's no way for this to get us there, is there? Oh, wait, yes there is. So this gets us the Crimson Blader, and because we, you know, are at a weird point... Oh, it could also get us Assault Beast. This is all fine. So, we go Crimson Blader, I didn't bring a second Assault Mode activate. So as I was saying, we can then go use the Crimson Blader to add... I don't know, we'll go Assault Beast, because why not? And then put itself back, pitch the Assault Beast to grab Assault Mode Activate, which allows us to use Sire Reflector to reveal the Assault Mode Activate, to bring anything back and modulate its level. What is this guy? This is Crimson Blade Dragon. This requires a Resonator Tuner. Oh dear, that's probably worth playing Resonators so that we can make this. But honestly, it's not that impressive, right? It adds the other version of Crimson Blader. We'll look at the Resonators, but I'm not sure we even need to ever summon this. We might always just use this as like synchro fodder or something. Who knows? So we can special summon anything, and this is going to be like the end of the combo effectively. But that's okay, so we'll just bring back Assault Beast because it doesn't really matter, and we can modulate its level up to, I don't know, let's 8, so this would get us into a 9 like our Arcanite Magician. So then we can go Dual Evolution, which pays 2,000 to allow us to use this Assault Mode Activate, which we set off of Nightwing, so it's activatable this turn, to tribute the Crimson Blader in extra deck to summon this one from deck, which gives us dominance over high-level extra deck monsters. It just floodgates the opponents out of the game. And then we can use these two to make something else, be that like a level 8 Synchro. Again, I mentioned Centurion earlier. You can go into Primera Primus, which allows you to do full Centurion combo off of that. You know, all sorts of fun stuff you could do with this last pair of guys. But yeah, that's a 1.5 card combo that works just fine. Cool.